So we're wrapping up. In some ways, loads done today. In other ways, we're having the same kind of conversations. Me, John, Paul, Rabjab, whoever's kind of interested about what to do with this. In my head, my absolute final is paint the side casing silver, because they have been painted already. Fork tubes black, it will just look better. I'll ask Nat about painting the tank and side panels. I'm watching side panels on eBay. Very expensive, 130 quid, but needed. Touch up the frame. So Paul was saying just put paper behind, touch it up. Yeah, I agree. This pipe's fine, but this one's wrecked. Probably needs the megaphone pipes. So you'll have a very clean looking bike overall, but it won't be original in many ways. Buy original seat pan so it goes onto its structure. Bolt this down to the seat pan so we have it like that. I'll get some aftermarket bars that are this shape. John changed them around today and actually did a good job, and it does look better and feel better. I'm going to be trying to resolve the starter button by doing some soldering at home, but this bike ran beautifully today, like so well, so I'm extremely pleased with that. That is the final outcome in my head. There, you know, I'm not gonna get this engine polished. I'm not getting the wheels polished. I'm not bothering. It's gonna be its calf racer clean, functional, and the paint will be as best as I can get it, or if Nat is willing to, as Nat can get it. And that's it, you know. You can let me know what you think in the comments, but ultimately I have to balance the time, the costs, what I'm capable of doing, and so on. If there's anyone out there who wants the bike, you're welcome to drop me an offer for it, and take it and kind of do what you think you would do. I'll be changing bits and pieces, spark plugs, probably I'll be putting on a new coil potentially, I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to do new leads, new caps and stuff like that. But today it ran beautifully, absolutely beautifully. All the brakes worked, and it started first kick every time, so it's looking good. I want to thank everyone who came today, bar Rabjab and Sultan, who were useless. Paul was extremely helpful. I learned a lot today, especially with some of the electrics. And guys, message me if you want to come down and have a look. Message me. I think, you know, if Paul's got time, I think we'll see him more often actually. Same with Stuart, who came not long ago. That's kind of the way it works here at this garage. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.
2,000 years later.
So yes, welcome back. Busy couple of weeks, guys, with bikes and everything else and life. Overwhelming, actually, a little bit overwhelming. When I bought this, I was rushing into everything, and I got very overwhelmed for the last week off that I had off my other job. But I mean, nothing shocking. I just yeah, just needed a few days off anyway while getting back on track with my other job. Let's see, let me try and explain where I am in my head with this. I've got an original seat coming, but my first plan is going to be de-rusting and sealing the bottom, because they're all gone. There's none left. They're all gone. So I need to this is the first and only one I could find that had all its fittings underneath. So I need to get that, basically save that for another 20 years. But I would quite like to put my seat onto their pan. Now my hope is that this seat is a touch wider than the pan, so that I can literally bolt this on, and then we will have a seat that slides over and clips in place. That should make sense. You'll have that seat on that bike, but with the original pan. It will look very much like someone's cut and recovered the original seat. I will keep the foam and the top of the other seat so that anyone can chuck it back on and have the original, if that works. If that doesn't work, I'm going down the route of, I'm going to be cutting the foam, only cutting it in a straight line like that, and sinking it, because the seat is thick, guys. It goes right up there on these bikes. These were comfort bikes, and I actually want it to be, I want the profile to be a bit more interesting. So I'll be trimming down the seat to make it a bit better looking. That's kind of at the back. I've got the side panels on their way. They're coming. They're, you know, they look like the tank. They're rough. They're on their way coming. With the paint and the side panels, I'm still not sure. And I know it's probably driving everyone nuts. I'm still not sure. Part of me wants to spray it black and that's it, leave it, put the Honda badge back on. Part of me wants to send it to Nat, knowing he will do such an amazing job with it. Part of me wants to touch up the black areas on here, polish this and leave it alone. It's a sealed tank, it works. But when you really do look, forget this area because I do have the badge. This is the tank. It wouldn't hurt to be sanded down and painted. I was considering gunmetal grey or something a bit more interesting, but then we're kind of balancing there the originality versus the new Cafe Racer style. Side panels, I'm not sure. I don't know what to do there. I have to be honest. I don't know what to do there. I might be able to sand them down to a nicer shine. I might be able to. They would paint up black nicely. I'd probably need to get a new gasket set, but they would paint up black nicely. So you've got two options there, some sort of cutting back to metal, or they would paint silver again. I think that was the plan actually. I think I was going to do an engine high temp silver, wasn't I, on that? I think I'm going to stand by that. And then down forks here that have been painted in the past, a quick sand and black for them. That's kind of the plan. I think if I decide to get the tank and panels painted, and actually I was going to throw this head unit into the mix, so whatever colour was done, it would come all the way up to here as well. I think if I was going to do that, I'd buy a new set of pipes as well. I found a kind of megaphone set, which are around 120 quid. They're obviously not originals, they're obviously not, but they work well on these bikes. So this is all the kind of theories and routes I'm going down in my head at the moment. Where I got to last week with Laguna's help, Paul, was that we were testing a second solenoid because we weren't sure about the original. And then, so I think that can come out and the original can go back in. And then we were looking at the starter button, which we have resolved. I think I've got that over there. And then we're looking at the handlebars. We put them upright. John thinks these are originals, but I don't think they are. I think the originals are taller. But we can get something like this. But there are other options. A braced pair of handlebars do look really good on this type of bike with that seat. With that seat, an actual braced, as in Renthal style bars, do really make these look quite sporty. So I don't know yet about the bars. I'm not overly fussed at this stage. That's quite far away. I want some new coil leads and caps eventually when I'm ready, and I want to run the wrapping to the top, because it's hard to judge it because you had to put the innings on and around. So yeah, so I want to follow the wrap up a touch there, which again is easily done. So it's a lot of work. If we're extremely lucky, the side panels and seat pan comes today, and we can at least mock this up and have a look at what it looks like. Otherwise, I think I'm going to look at the electrics for now. I've got the switch that I've cleaned up and soldered on and stuff. I might be able to get it to work. I genuinely have no idea. I'm not overly skilled in this area. So I'm going to have a play with that part in hope that we can get the starter button starting the bike, because it may as well, it may as well use it. So we've gone back to original here, not for any reason. These solenoids, they all work in pretty much exactly the same way, guys. If you ever need a solenoid and you can't find your exact colour, wiring or anything, they're the same, okay? They all just bridge the gap using these two to start it up in the same way I did when I put a screwdriver across it. That bridges the gap, it tries to start the engine, simple as that. So you can kind of cut and put any of these into a wiring loom if needed, but for now, original's back on. Now the one way to tell if that works, this is our starting wire here, and the theory is that the button was pushing it to the frame. You see, this is all metal. This is all metal. So the button was pushing that to the metal frame, causing a connection, which then tries to start it up. So at the moment, if I touch the frame, nothing at all. But if I switch the key on, if I'm right, with Laguna's help and John's help and everything else, it should actually try and start up. I don't want it to start up. Lovely. Great bit of problem solving there, guys. If I do say so myself. I am rubbish with electrics. Me and Paul Laguna was here really going over this, thinking, and John actually, we were kind of spread out thinking logically, logically we were able to put the circuit back together. What actually happened was there were some breaks under the light. They weren't even breaks, they had been pulled undone. But also the yellow wire was not soldered or attached to the start button, so that is the next bit. I have that done, I did it at home. I need to kind of work out how to put all that back together. And if that's right, then this bike becomes a bike that starts on the button, which is brilliant, I think, absolutely brilliant. Great. For me, I do want to finish that off. John said earlier, and I did at the time, I wasn't even really hearing him, but he said earlier that I could paint these, sand them down, rust treat them and paint them. I think it's probably more hassle than it's worth for a set of 30 quid bars. I think I'll find some equivalents at the right time. Right, let me sort out and see if I can get that doing what it should be doing on the button. The other thing I messed up with was that there's a switch for the high and low here, which is this one here, and I don't know what it's doing now. I mean, I'd be quite happy to just have it on. No, I haven't got the luxury of just having it on, have I? Because that's the high and low, so I'm going to need to look at that. As in, I've got the switch somewhere. I'll have to find the switch, and then I'll need to put that back in to make sure it does that as well, high and low. Because we have this switch here, which is doing sides at the moment, and it was doing high and low earlier. I don't know if the bulb's a bit touchy. So a couple of things we've done in here. I've bolted back down the switch, so that's good. The high and low is back. This area here with the switch, the starter, is so complex. I have of course wired the original wire to it now, but to me, I don't see how pressing this little button, I don't see how it does anything. My guess is when I turn the key, this is going to try and start without me pressing the button. I feel like it's all touching anyway. Unless I am literally missing something. So I'm going to turn the key. My guess is it's going to try and start, as in it's all connected. Oh, well. Okay, it didn't. Oh, we got our lights back, that's good. Press the button out of curiosity. Well, I don't know if it needs to be mounted on the frame. Ooh! Oh man, I can't believe that. I don't know how I made that work. That's made out of magic, that is. I can slightly tell you the only thing I really did there was at the bottom, what this switch pushes onto is the wire there, which I had to solder back on, and then I've pulled it back here for convenience, but I will wire it better and I will tape it. Yeah, otherwise I don't really know what else is going on there. I'm not sure how the plunger helps all that connect, but there must be something minuscule there that I've missed, you see, which is fine. Okay, wow, we're back on the starter button. That's pretty amazing. I'm gonna mount that back on for now, so that it's there. Where's the actual throttle? I don't even know where it is. Okay, that, do you know what? That's a big job, and it's a big job that we've ticked off the list. It now, yeah, it now is a starter on the button. Okay, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Great. What's next for me? What's next? Don't know. I think I should try and get a jack under, loosen the front wheel, lose the front wheel, and we'll sand, clean, and paint them downpipes black. I think we have some black. Paul Laguna, I call him Laguna because when he writes his comments, guys, you'll see it. And actually, well, if you're hearing this now, do go and say hello to him and say thank you. He's an extremely nice person. He was so helpful. He bought me loads of stuff, just stuff that will come in so handy. Spray paints, spare levers, spare wire, this, that. Just kind of bought it all, didn't think twice. Really lovely. I'm the worst person at receiving gifts. I'm so used to giving gifts that I don't really know how to receive them. I'm really rubbish at that. But yeah, Paul last week was amazing at talking through things. One of the other things we were talking through was adding a fuel pump to a leader engine, and I think he might have won there. I will let him explain next time he's here his system, but the system he just made could potentially resolve Galera DNA issues forever, but by adding a mechanical pump from the tank to the carb, it could resolve that. Anyway, back to this. Yeah, I want to get them legs painted actually at this stage. So I'll put a jack under there just to help it out, drop the front wheel, a quick sanding, tape off anything you don't want to get any spray on, the wheel and everything will be moved out the way, and that will look nice and clean and black.